Hello everyone. Hasn't it been such a very long off-season for us fans? But hey, the new season is upon us. Trevor's breakout season is finally here. Anyway, speaking of fans, we thought this year, before each game, me and Lady Rene would reach out and have a chat with other fans from other teams. Ideally, from the team that Jags are playing next. So this week, it's the Steelers. So we are very honoured to be catching up with a fellow International Fan of the Year. So please welcome from Ireland, the Steelers 2024 International Fan of the Year, Tom. Hello, Tom.
So how's Tom then?
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. That's not Guinness. That's only water. So it's early. It's only 4 o'clock here.
Yeah, I mean,
no, it's good. Obviously, great excitement with the Steelers coming over here for a game, first ever in season
yeah,
game in Dublin, and it's just building and building and building the whole time. Like yourselves, watching training camp, and then you got 3 or 4 weeks, and then we're on, and then only a couple of weeks later you're on in London. So
yeah,
happy days, you know. So bring it on.
yeah, definitely. So, firstly, congratulations for being International Fan of the Year.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
You
I
know,
was very chuffed when, being one of the older Steelers fans, the Steelers Ireland people, like the Jaguars UK and Ireland people, there's an active Steelers Ireland company here working on things for the Steelers, and they said they'd come out and talk to me about the 1997 pre-season friendly again. And
yeah.
during the course of that interview, the interviewee, Stephanie Roach, a former international soccer player, she took her phone from her pocket, and there's a message from Dan Rooney to say I'd been selected as the international fan of the
Wow.
year. Wow.
So they ambushed you. That's nice. That's good. So it's
Yeah,
complete surprise. That's really good.
complete surprise. Not often you get an Irishman lost for words, but I was a bit stumped.
Yeah, yeah,
I had worked with Dan Rooney's grandfather, Dan Rooney, the original ambassador, Dan Rooney, um, on some PR work here for the Ireland funds, trying to bring peace and culture and charity to our land back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so it was one of the reasons, obviously, that the Steelers predominated my fandom, because we have family in Pittsburgh. My old high school had the same order of priests that run Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. And then
wow,
obviously when I started working the PR and media side to work with the Dan Rooney, Antonio O'Reilly on the growth and development of the Ireland funds worldwide, was something else. So when his grandson said the few words to me, yeah, I was a bit chuffed, obviously. And
yeah. That's
uh,
really cool. Yeah.
bottom lip was a bit wavering, but not as good as your bottom lip. But you know, you can hide out with that bottom lip, but I can't. Dan, the ambassador Rooney, and his wife Pat were over here in '97 for the pre-season friendly, and there was a particular piece of crystal on offer for the winner. And Pat Rooney, Dan's wife, eyed up that trophy and said, "I wouldn't mind that." So I think Cordell Stewart and the frontliners stayed on the pre-season friendly a bit more than the people we'll see on maybe Saturday in Jacksonville.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
So yeah, how was the draft for you? They flew you out and
They
you
flew
know,
us out, and thanks to the Steelers, they diverted us to Pittsburgh on the way through. I hadn't seen the Hall of Honor when I was there last for Ben Roethlisberger's last home match, so that was open subsequently. So they flew me out there, and we got some nice pictures and footage
oh,
going
that's
around the Hall
great.
of Honor and the various Pittsburgh landmarks. Obviously, next year's NFL draft is in Pittsburgh at Easter, April 23, 25. Put it in your diary, and there's
Yeah,
going to be lots of people going to Pittsburgh. Green Bay itself was superb. The local population of Green Bay, I understand, is about 107,000. And each of the days of the draft, there were about 200,000 people in attendance, all free of charge, but entrance through the app. So Jamie Phillips was representing, you know, the International Fan of the Year from the Jags.
yeah,
A superb job, and we all had there was 32 of us, So we all landed pretty much on the Wednesday before the draft, had a working meeting with the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, at the hotel. And then the next day, obviously, the excitement of round one and all that involved for all of the various teams involved. So obviously, great excitement for the Jags with Travis Hunter coming out.
Yeah.
Top of the pile, wearing the number 12 now. For them, seems like a lovely kind of guy. Anything that we saw of him in Green Bay looked like a great gentleman, very down to earth. Loves his fishing, I understand. Big fisherman.
Yeah.
Loves going the thought of going back to Florida, where he hails from. I think he's 3 or 4 hours drive. I think from Jacksonville is where he grew up. Obviously, Florida State, and then the Buffaloes, etc. But what a God-given talent to be able to play both sides of the ball, you know. And
Yeah.
I wish him and the Jags well for the season ahead.
We'll have to see the preseason how it all develops, and let's just see what he can bring to the table.
It's been a long off season for all us
It has. It's been
NFL
really
fans,
long.
and it's great to, with the enthusiasm of the draft, in particular for yourselves with Travis Hunter, Derek Harmon for ourselves. Superb is now going to start the defensive line, it seems, at the weekend, so that's good as well. The quarterback that I announced from the podium, Will Howard, is third string quarterback at the moment to Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, but looking forward to seeing him obviously in Dublin with his family. His brother will be here in 2 weeks because he plays offensive line with Kansas State, and they play Iowa State in the college football classic here in Dublin in a couple of weeks. So his brother will be here, Ryan, on the offensive line. So hope to meet his dad and mom and the family. His sister was studying in Trinity College here for a while, so they're familiar with the Irish cities and scenes and golf courses and things like that. So I think they're going to have a family vacation and support Ryan initially, and then obviously come back for the big game in September when Will is here to take on the Vikings.
Yeah, cool. Would you say that you know, that the NFL scene in Ireland has really taken off now? Would you say that it's, you know, this Steelers game is going to really help, isn't it? So I mean, it sounds like it's already big anyway, but is it growing like crazy?
It's a huge, obviously, supporters, many supporters, hundreds of thousands of supporters. Not that many participants, obviously, in the Irish amateur American football game. Equipment is quite expensive, and you know, with then things like COVID and delays in deliveries and stuff, there'll be about 20 kitted teams. But with the introduction of flag football, a number of colleges are putting on flag football teams. And also the benefit of flag football now being an Olympic game for the Los Angeles Olympics means
That's going to help.
shot at maybe participating in the Olympics, although I believe that professional NFL players will also be playing in the flag football as well. So the level is going to be through the roof, but a chance of representing your country at the Olympics is always something that will give benefit to any minority sport, and that's what it is. Obviously, here it is a minority sport. We're very strong in rugby and reasonably strong in soccer and our own Irish football and hurling. So we know where we're placed in American football, but from a spectator point of view, huge spectators. Obviously, when I started watching the game was back in the late 70s, early 80s. There was very little TV coverage. Channel 4 in the UK had a highlight program a week later. So I was listening to American Forces Radio nearly under the covers on a Sunday night trying to get the scores from the different games. I was on a freshman rugby tour to Florida. In fact, our first port of call was Jacksonville in 1979, September. And my host was a US military helicopter pilot, Bob, and his wife, Linda. And in 1979, they were hopeful of a team heading to Jacksonville down the line. So it was great when that came to fruition. Lovely part of the world, very friendly people, beautiful climate, very close to the coastline. Well worth a visit, as you've probably been there many times.
Yeah,
but,
very historical
I don't
too.
get back since, but who knows what way the schedule will work over the next few seasons. If it's not cold Pittsburgh, it could be very warm in Jacksonville. So we'll see how that goes. But Yeah, the fandom is got huge. A lot of the NFL teams now have global marketing rights here, as well as the Steelers. There's obviously the Jags, and this year now the Chiefs and the Jets have been added in. So the franchises are primarily trying to grow the support through flag clinics and alumni players coming over to host kicking clinics or scrimmage clinics or non-contact type things and
Yeah.
meet and greets and things like that. And obviously there's going to be a lot more of that over the next few years. Obviously our native population north and south is only just over 5 million, so it's not a huge catchment area compared to the UK, where you've got more than 5 million in the London area alone. But we are very passionate about our sports. We wear our heart on our sleeve, and there'll be lots of terrible towels and singing along to Renegade, the Vikings,
and they've got
here at Croke Park.
Did I see on your Instagram? There's actually an Irish terrible towel.
Yeah, I saw that.
It looks really cool.
It's going to take up the whole screen for a second.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's really cool.
nice. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean,
so awesome.
I know that we've got to be very careful with terrible towels in terms of other
Yes, there was
teams
an
behaving.
incident recently with Dewey Wingard and grabbing the terrible towel, and then of course it didn't reflect well on the Jags later, and the season tanked.
Yeah.
Well, they say sometimes it's fate or whatever, or karma if that happens. But to disrespect another team, be it in our case maybe a terrible towel or somebody's logo on the center of their stadium or on their approach, it's not
sportsmanlike, is it?
You deserve what you get if that's what you do,
Yeah. So September the 28th then.
September the 28th, the match is on. We expect the team to probably land on the Monday, Tuesday. They play the Pats the previous Sunday in Boston, so they may come direct from Boston across at that stage, or back to Pittsburgh and back out on Tuesday. Unlike 1997, where we had great access to the teams, both the Bears and the Steelers. Beside me here in UCD in Dublin, or University College Dublin, they had their scrimmages against each other there before the game in Croke Park. Obviously, there's NFL points at stake, so I would imagine that the actual team itself will be pretty much under wraps, so to speak, for the week. But we do expect, and a lot of alumni players are coming over either on media duties or as tour guides or ambassadors. So we expect a lot.
That'll be great.
And the Friday before the game, there's about 4 or 5 downtown NFL bars. So the Steelers meet up in a 4-storied sports bar called the Woolshed on the Friday night. Then we go to the Arlington Hotel on the Saturday night near the Halfpenny Bridge, which crosses our River Liffey. It used to cost you a halfpenny to cross it, so that's why it's called the Halfpenny Bridge. So it's a landmark building in Dublin, so it's very easy to find for tourists. And then obviously Sunday is game day, and Steelers then are on a bye week afterwards, and then you guys are flying to London, and carrying on the Vikings are flying to London, and you guys are in London then weeks later. So great expectations, great excitement. I think when the tickets went on sale, 3 of the 4 sides of the stadium were put on sale, and the queue was up at 600,000, for basically 60,000 seats. I think the Steelers season ticket holders, because they're obviously primarily in Pennsylvania or in the States, I think we're allocated something like 3,000. So, I mean, the NFL really want this to be an international contest and something for the international fans to get to. And that would be the same as would be the case in London or any of the other international games.
Have you been to a lot of the London games in the past?
I've been to a couple, It's not always... but if your team aren't playing, it's not quite the same. So I've been over to a couple of games, but it's not quite the same. And when the Steelers were there last, I work in sports, so I was working on a rugby media, so I couldn't actually get there to see their defeat last time in London. So maybe I hope to be a lucky leprechaun for them here, maybe in Dublin this time round. But
I'm sure you will.
It was great. Wembley is, superb stadium. The old Wembley was a bit tired. Then they obviously renovated it, and the approach and all the ancillary pubs, restaurants, merchandise now that's around Wembley. It is state of the art 21st century stadiums, as is Tottenham.
I find that I prefer the games. I mean, the stadium itself, as far as being purpose built for American football at Tottenham, is quite nice, but the experience, I always have a better time at Wembley just because of the surroundings. It's not as tight. It's easier to get to and get out.
There's more to do at Wembley, isn't there?
Yeah.
Tailgates and things,
right.
and atmosphere around beforehand and after is much more. Whereas at Tottenham, it's kind of just
it's just in and out. It's not the same.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how it is in Dublin. How the venue.
It'll be fantastic, I'm sure. I mean, it's great. It's great that it's going to Dublin, and I'm sure they'll do it every year now, so that'll be really good.
They're looking at Germany as well. The Steelers are, so I think they've hooked up with the Dortmund area that also wear black and gold in Germany. So if it goes to Germany, it's a lot closer than Pittsburgh. But going to Pittsburgh obviously is superb to actually see the stadium itself and go to the local tourist spots in Pittsburgh. And as I say, with the allocation of the NFL draft next year to Pittsburgh, a lot of fans might go that otherwise wouldn't go to Pittsburgh and just it's not too big a city. It's not too small. I'd say a bit like Dublin. There's about 1 million people moving in and out, and so it's very easy to get around. It's a nice downtown area, and they love their sports.
People in England, the UK, they don't have a team. And I always tell them, maybe start with the city itself and it's someplace you'd like to visit regularly. Like if you like the West Coast of the US, then maybe pick Seattle or San Francisco or, you can also have a team find you or you fall in love for another reason. But all else being equal, how about a city you want to see? Because you're going to get back there if you're a fan. You're going to get back there.
Pittsburgh is a really historic city, isn't it? And it's got such a historic past in terms of football. You think about the Super Bowls they've done, and think about the endless names going through the years,
Steel Curtain is my big deal. It's like the late 70s. I was so into football, and the Steel Curtain was the way to go. And they were all tough guys and everything. Everybody knew all of them, and then it's just gone from there. Then they had the Big Ben years, and they've just been a great team. They're one of the most consistent playoff teams ever.
Yes, they're consistently there. This year they hope to get further than just making the playoffs. Obviously, the last couple of years, they've got one and gone. So one and out. So they would hope to progress further this year, and they've invested in this rookie quarterback called Aaron Rodgers.
I was going to come to that. Yeah, come to that.
So we'll see what he does with, DK Metcalf obviously is a very strong, explosive, as is Travis Hunter, explosive over 5, 10, 15 yards to give them to themselves a gap. So we're looking forward to a few long bombs going from Aaron to DK down the track,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it's not your team, you're not that interested in other teams' quarterbacks. And Rodgers has been there for so long, obviously, 21 seasons or whatever in the NFL. Yeah, everybody knows about him. But I think people were a little slow to warm up to his off-field activities or demeanors. But he seems to have had a very good media time in Latrobe at the training centre in St. Vincent College. He talked about his marriage and the wedding and settle down and all this type of stuff. So even us males sometimes settle down in our 40s. Sometimes it's our 50s or 60s, whatever. But sometimes it takes a while for us to mature, and maybe that's what's happened in the last season or two. I hope he stays healthy. I can't see him staying more than a quarter in the park on Saturday. But who knows? But we don't want any Achilles trouble starting off, and it's a pretty condensed season. Okay, there's a lot of games, but if you lose a 6-week stretch out of it, then you're really chasing it.
Yeah.
Are you going to wear his jersey then? Are you going to wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey?
Oh, come on. See, I will be wearing.
Okay.
Is Will Howard's jersey that
the guy that you announced, right?
Who I announced. So
cool.
It's the jersey I'll be wearing, or this one, which has the
Yeah, the badge.
Man of the Year badge on it. So
there's mine. Can you see mine up there?
Yeah, super. It's great to see Belly then working now with the Jags back office. Obviously, your first ever draft pick, and now he's heading up the football operations.
Yes.
So again, it's great to see those
exciting times.
I think all the Jags fans were so thrilled when that announcement got made, and then of course the new head coach. Everybody's excited to see how he does.
Liam is the Irish for William, so you try to be he might have some Irish background. Obviously, Cohen wouldn't be that Irish, but there might be some mixed ancestry there down the back of the family chart. You know.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because Irish people know that there's tons of Americans that come over there, and they always say, "I'm Irish," and so I was going to ask you how that sits with you.
Over 40 million would claim Irish American ancestry. You know, grandparents or further back since the 1840s when we had our famine. A lot of people emigrated then, and then they just go in waves. If the economy dips, they were able to go to the States, which welcomed them with open arms, and the hands that built America from all over Europe, not just the Irish. From everywhere.
And in the States, I mean, St. Patrick's Day is just crazy in the States, isn't it? You know, in Chicago, they color the river, green.
Green dye in the river,
I think that, St. Patrick's Day always seems like it's been bigger in the US really than even in Ireland. I don't know how you guys celebrate it there.
Well, Dublin is a big parade, and there are parades all over the country, but they'd be on a smaller scale. As I say, our population isn't anywhere like the States. So when you see New York and all then there's the White House visit with the Shamrocks every week, sometime in that week. And it's the same all over because we're a small island and the economy wasn't so good. We had to ship a lot of people abroad, or a lot of people voluntarily went abroad, and that was where they landed is where the Tony O'Reilly and Dan Rooney said, right, let's see if we can do something with the American Irish to help our country and get some peace back there, back in the 70s and 80s, and establish the American Ireland Fund, and that was New York and Pittsburgh were the two centres that set it up, and now it's gone on a multi-million-dollar charitable foundation that has certainly played its part in bringing peace to our country, north and south. And then under President Obama, Ambassador Rooney then went to each and every county on the island. There's 32 counties, small counties, they're not big, and made sure that he had seen all of Ireland, top to bottom, left to right. But if you drive more than 3 hours here, you're in water because we're an island. Okay?
Yeah, so, it's not much more here. So,
if I drive 3 hours, I'm not even in the next state. So.
This is the beauty of sports and meeting fans from all over the world. We have a WhatsApp group for our class of 24, as you do for your class of 23. And we just keep in touch, and everybody's, if they can, are going to training camps at the moment and just trying to build up the bit of momentum for the season ahead.
Yeah, is that how you got into football in the first place? Was you were active in rugby, and so it just kind of followed on from there?
Yeah, I played rugby, which would have been kind of the quarterback role in rugby, and played on that position for my university, and we went on that freshman tour. But what I liked about American football was you could also pass the ball forward. So rugby might be more continuous. American football might be more staccato, given the nature of the rules. But the forward pass to people running in advance was new to us in '79. So obviously that was the time when the Steelers, the Steel Curtain were there and all the rest. Then we had to wait a few years for TV coverage to follow on from the UK. You might get a magazine if you were early enough to the newsagents, did Touchdown or Gridiron or one of those First Down or whatever those UK magazines were. You had to buy the videos from the NFL to get the equipment, or to get the inside track on the commentaries. And but it was, look, it's great to see how it's evolved. The NFL then obviously hired Brett Gosper, who was previously head of World Rugby, in setting up the NFL international setup. So he's been key to the growth of that as well. And the NFL London people have been in Dublin many, many times. Henry and the staff have been over checking on facilities, the fans, the training camps, everything else that goes on. Our flag football championships. Ireland hosted the European flag football championships in Limerick only 2 summers ago. So there is a big support base, not a very big playing base. But as I say, we wear our heart and our sleeve and we love our sports.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 80s and things, I mean, playing the game was quite strong, wasn't it? But even then, I think that there were still going to be more fans than there ever were to playing. But I mean, it's great. I mean, you know, I can't even think about even trying to play even flag football now. I mean, especially with my dicky ticker, you know. But
gotta mind yourself.
Yeah. But
I played a bit here and with what was called the Dublin Celts, but most of the team were based at the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Marines were the core running backs, etc. The coach was the DCM, Deputy Chief of Mission, Tom. And but I had access to my old high school playing fields, so that's why I got a spot on the roster. I think because I could open up the fields for the guys to train and play. So I was a backup tight end for a while. So played a little bit, and but the equipment then versus now is not the same. You know, they when you see the guys celebrate a touchdown and they clash helmets and stuff like that, you know, that's cool, and then it happens, and you're going, I'm half starry eyed here. Different times.
Different times, yeah. I mean, I played it a little bit. I wasn't any good, but I can still remember getting concussed on a regular basis. So, you know, but yeah. So, how many wins do you think the Steelers are going to have this year? Then, are you going to make the playoffs?
I think they will make the playoffs. They probably might scrape into it. They started off great last year, and then we got the strong schedule coming up later on. This year, obviously, the first 4 matches, they might be okay. Then the divisional matches start kicking in. So, but that's why it's spread out over the whole season. It's not just it's not a cup as we know it. It's a league championship. So you got to get up into your playoff positions over the course of those matches, and then eke your way into the playoffs. But the thing is, if you're further down the playoff roster at 6, which we may well be, then we're away to the Bills or somewhere, and the Bills are particularly strong at the moment. So yeah, we'll play it by ear. But I do think Coach Tomlin will keep his winning record. But I think he would give that up if he could guarantee a Super Bowl this year and diddly squat next year. So we'll see.
Don't worry about the Bills. You'll beat the Bills. You'll be fine. I mean, who's that quarterback guy? You know, there is only one Josh Allen, and he's got a Hines in the middle.
Like not only just a good player on the park, but a superb individual off the park as well. So fair due to him and the Bills organization, you know.
Oh, the Bills just, I mean, for so long, they were just, after their the early 90s Super Bowl stuff. They were kind of nothing. And Josh Allen has just really boosted that franchise. I mean, they're just so excited to get him and have him. And, you know, he's really part of the community. He's done really well for them.
He can make the side pylon every now and again as well, just stretching out in the corner, like some unbelievable athleticism to turn himself into a running back. Yeah, and the conditions up there, like it's at playoff time, December, January is something else. Obviously, the draft was in Green Bay and it was very pleasant, but I can imagine, you know,
it's horrible up there. I mean, it's especially along the Great Lakes, you get the quote lake effect snow, and it can be 3 feet. You know, you saw how the stadium got buried and the fans had to dig it out. And I mean, in Denver, we have snow too, but it goes away. It goes away the next day. It melts. It doesn't melt in Buffalo.
Yeah. We'll be watching sunny Jacksonville and hoping that there's a nice breeze coming in off the water to make it cooler. I think it's 88 or 90 I saw earlier today. So nice. Not too cold either. So they'll be drinking lots of Gatorade and whatever else is on the side. In Ireland, we're a smaller landmass, so we don't get those same range of temperatures. We might get to the late 70s. So September here will be quite comfortable for anybody coming over to visit.
Do you guys get as much rain? Like, should people worry about
rain
in September?
We get rain, yeah, we get it in from the side because of the wind, so it comes at you sideways as well as from straight down. But it doesn't rain all day every day, and they say our two best days are summer and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes in September.
So it's wet rain, wet sideways rain, like in Wales. Yeah.
Tell us about, like, what do you think the ticket situation is going to be then? You said that there was a big queue at first. Are they completely sold out now? If people haven't decided, are they going to be able to go?
Well, I think there's, as I say, 3/4 of the stadium is now sold out. 1/4 of the stadium, which at the moment is a traditional standing terrace, has to be converted to seats. So that hasn't been on for sale yet. It's never been converted to seats before.
Oh.
So the 82,000 will come down to 72,000. So people have to sit. And I think obviously up to now it's been computer generated as to how many seats can fit in that section. So when the actual construction starts with a month ago, that's when those final seats will be available for sale, because you don't want to turn up on the day to discover that your seat didn't actually fit, or
oh my God.
Conversely, that they've sold maybe 8,000 in that section and it can accommodate 12. So Hill 16, it's a famous part of the stadium. It was underneath it is the rubble from our 1916 Rising, so it's called Hill 16, and people stand on that and shout their support for primarily the Dublin GAA team in that stadium. But that's the side of the stadium that's not available for sale yet, and won't be for another, I say, 2 or 3 weeks until all the matches are finished there, and then they'll actually start construction. And I'd say they'll be on sale then probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, so like if you're a Steeler or Viking fan, there's actually a few Viking fans that, because of last year's game with the Jags, that follow us, and maybe they'd be thinking, maybe I should go. So they should just keep an eye on it, right? Because they might be releasing those tickets, and then maybe even last minute they might.
NFL.com/Dublin, I think, is registered with that, and they keep doing the updates. But when that gets out, of course, they'll probably have 2 or 3 days notice, and that's when you got to make sure your bank is sorted and your credit card is charged and you're ready to roll. When the window opens, you got to go for it.
Get the Ticketmaster thing going. Get ready to go.
It would be really good to get there. It would be really great.
I would love if we could go there.
I've never been to Ireland, so sadly.
Okay.
Well, crazy.
If you want to come over any stage, private visit, whatever, just give me a shout and we'll.
I'll buy you a pint.
I'll buy you one back. We have this Irish drink called the same again. So if you buy me one, I've got to buy you the same again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when the trouble starts.
Oh yeah. I don't think I want to see you two.
I'm a lightweight.
With a few pints in you.
Yeah.
As I say, in season, out of season, let me know if you're coming over this direction. And whatever time of year it is, our kitted season kind of runs from May to July. So there's always something going on. So and we have alumni people over, we have media people over, so you're welcome here at any stage. Kate Miller.
And maybe if you've got some charities, whatever, that you kind of have under your wing, then maybe I could do something for them. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. Bring your costume.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about the super fan scene is there's so many of these, super fans from everywhere, but it's a lot of the American ones. They'll like work for a charity and use their sort of, super fan fame for that. And that's one of the captain's big deals is he wants to, use whatever he has just to get money for so it's really nice to be able to use it for good. And to say, he's tried to help cancer charities since that's something that he's
and military.
But now he's helping a heart charity.
Yeah,
that's something he's
wondered
dealing with
why
now.
That is.
Health, homeless, military. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic that people do give back, and in the States, obviously, there's a tradition to set up and establish a foundation. There's not the same situation here in Ireland. I don't think there is in the UK as well. A lot of people put their names to it, but there's not the same tax breaks by donating to an NGO or a foundation as they have in the States. So we don't have the same level of giving back. Well, obviously, there's a huge amount of charity work done by everybody, but it's not the same setup as in the States, where players, even from even on signing, they can set up a foundation pretty much and give back to their community, either in the city where they're playing or back in their hometown, so
the work that some of these players put in and volunteering for their charities, even ones that don't have a foundation and it's not their charity, they'll go and volunteer for like service dogs for the military or whatever. And it's just wonderful to see them helping with the kids, and it just kind of warms
giving
your heart.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think if you can get the kids playing flag football or kidded football, that's superb, because that takes them out of other distractions that might lead them down the wrong path or the wrong alleyway or whatever. So, particularly if they can generate some sporting activity and health and wellness for everybody,
Well, flag's been a big boon because a lot of parents here, a lot of people don't want their kids playing that heavy of a contact sport, especially football, with all the CTE and stuff. So flag has been really good because they can still learn the game, do the rules, but it's not as harsh on them, especially little kids. Like here, I mean, and they're in Pop Warner and some of the, younger things, and they're doing full contact, full pads, full hits. And it's just scary when you think about it. You don't want your kid doing that sometimes.
I think it's good the way the game is evolving to be. I know a lot of old school people will say, well, no, it's not the same. It's a bunch of sissies and stuff like that. But it's good the way that the game is evolving, and think about concussion protocols and ever changing. I think that's sensible.
Opens it up to the girls and the females, as well, which wasn't the case back in the day. So that they are, we do have some ladies kidded teams, but not that many, and few and far between. I think probably in the UK as well, I understand. So flag football, it gives them the semblance of running, making space, even better than basketball, I'd say, because you've got the cleats on, you're outdoors or even indoors, and it gives you the timing 1, 2, 3 and out, whatever it is.
Right.
And it's a team sport. It's a team sport. It's just.
Oh, so since we have you on, and we don't know how many Irish people we'll have this year as guests, probably not very many. So I just want to ask, as an American, and you are as a Irish person that loves sports, can you please discuss hurling a little bit for me? Because that's something I only found out about like a year ago. I didn't even know it existed. So, and it sounds so bizarre.
Has been described as organized murder. Well, it's a field game, a bit like ice hockey in a sense, in that you have a stick, and instead of a puck, it's a ball. And the aim of the game is like ice hockey, to get the ball in the opposition net or over the net, which you get 1 point to go over the net, 3 points under the net into the goal. So the game can change very quickly, because you hit the ball in the net and suddenly that's a 3-point turnaround, and it's constantly changing. It's the fastest field game. Ice hockey is the fastest game, but the fastest field game would be what we call hurling, similar to maybe lacrosse, which is played in some colleges in the States, where there's the whole idea is moving the ball into a goal, and we've got 15 people, forwards and backs, and they are trying to hit the ball, or they can hit it with their hands, passing it from one to the other, but you primarily hit the ball, and it can travel quite a distance. So the Gaelic pitch, like Croke Park, where the Steelers Vikings match, is quite bigger than an American football pitch. So it's a lot wider, a lot longer. So there's quite a bit of ground to cover if you're, marking your opposite number. The two teams are spread out all over the pitch, so you're not coming down as 15 versus 15. There's 15 splintered into 15 different positions all around the ground, and the whole aim of the game is to score more points than your opposition, and hopefully it's now all helmeted. That wasn't the case maybe 15, 20 years ago, but obviously the sticks can hit hands, knees, elbows, toes, and heads. So they put helmets on the players. There's a female version called camogie, when they play on a smaller pitch, and but they would be helmeted as well. It's a smaller pitch, and there's 13 on that team. There's 15 on the full pitch. But again, marvelous game, and well worth
the ball though. Isn't it like different? It's not like a baseball.
It's a small, like a tennis ball, but there's a little groove on it, so to help you catch it. So it's called a schlitter, in Irish, in Gaelic, and it's a curve ball, similar really to a baseball, which you have to get your fingers in a certain area to pitch it properly. It would be the same with the hurling. You can catch the ball a bit easier because they have these grooves on the outside of the ball to facilitate handling.
I was under the impression it was really heavy or dense or something, or maybe that's just a wrong impression that I have, that it's like a stone or something.
No, it's really a tennis ball size. Call it like a baseball, and the football would be like a soccer ball when we play our Irish football, which again is 15 players splintered all over the ground again. And the idea is 3 points for a goal, 1 point for the kicking it over the bar. And that's how the Gaelic football is played. And that's where Gaelic football, the mecca for Gaelic football in Ireland is at Croke Park. And that's where the history of Croke Park, with its Hill 16 and its ancestry and all that type of history, appealed to the GAA and the Steelers and the NFL to host a match there. So wow. It's our biggest stadium in Dublin, and that's where the match will take place.
Well, as an ignorant American, I didn't even realize there was a different form of Irish quote soccer. I had no idea. We don't really. I mean, unless you really follow our soccer or Premier League or whatever over here. My son-in-law loves the Premier League and he likes it better than NFL. So, but those kind of people are few and far between over here. So I really did not know that Irish had their own version of football and it's really amazing that you give a point to people who get it over the net. I just never heard of such a thing.
We'll just have to go there and see for ourselves.
I think so, yeah. You go to Croke Park, they do a great historical tour. You can walk along the top of one of the stadia, one of the stands, and look over the city and stuff like that. So if you don't, unless you're worried about your height or anything like that, it's a very good tour. But there's a very good museum, and it explains the origin of. And people would say that American football originated maybe from the Irish in Western Pennsylvania, that had the same semblance of a ball, and then the English obviously had the rugby from William Webb Ellis running with the ball under his arm in the quadrangle at Rugby. All these games evolved. Cricket and baseball, the history of those are interwoven with the colonial past, maybe of different nations at different times. So that was our particular game, which basically stayed in Ireland, but is also played by expats all over the world. And there are Asian games for hurling and North American games. In the Gaelic Park in the Bronx is where the Gaelic football is played in New York, and a lot of teams would have the 32 counties are represented in the championship. All the players might not come from that county, but people going over and working for the summer could represent one county or the other in the championship if they're a Gaelic football player or hurling player. So as you say, as the captain says, best thing is to come over. And
you recommend for anybody going to that game for them to take that tour of the stadium and get that historical view of Dublin.
It may be closed that week because obviously the teams might be in scrimmaging. So you find the stadiums on match week aren't as accessible. But if they're there for the week, I think a lot of people are going to visit Ireland and might take in some golf courses and then come up to Dublin for the weekend. So that a lot of people are taking a week vacation. So there's something there for everybody, really. There's sports, there's food, there's entertainment. We attract obviously the big concerts. As you see behind me, we got Springsteen here a few times, and all the major acts. Oasis are here in a couple of weeks. The reunion, they've been in the UK last week. So all the major acts, because we're a young population, we do enjoy our entertainment. We do go to sports. We do go to concerts. We do enjoy a good time, and we look forward to seeing you as soon as you can get here.
Yeah, it'll be good. We must do it. I'd love to find, say, a nice traditional, local, historical bar. Just sit in the corner with some traditional music playing, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I can name you 5 or 6. So don't know who's.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll do each one in turn.
We'll be looking for that. Yeah, because it's just a great opportunity.
Every second one we have water. Every second bar we'll have water. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Well, you might be able to do it. The captain's going to try his best to get to the Monday night football game against the Kansas City Chiefs at Jacksonville. So that's like the 6th of October, and I think the Dublin game is the week before that. So if by chance, I mean, there's a chance that I don't know that I could get there, but
because it's on the way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the way. He can stop in Dublin on the way to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So maybe
if your flight's in trouble, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might happen, and if so, that pint might happen somewhere in Dublin.
Yeah.
Between you guys.
Yeah, we
have something for you too for a parting gift for being our very first guest. I have this little. I found it in my basement. This little Super Bowl 9.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's got Steelers on the other side. It's no big deal, but I just thought maybe we could, I'm going over at the end of the month, so I'll have the captain send it to you.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Stuff. Yeah. We do NFL stuff. We sell it to people in the UK and Europe and stuff, and so we've got various things. I actually did buy out a Steelers lot here locally. This guy that's been collecting his whole life, and he didn't grow up in Pittsburgh, but he just loved the late 70s Steelers, and his son isn't into football, so he's like, we'll just sell this. So we've been kind of distributing it all over the UK and
gradually,
Europe.
slowly.
There's a lot of Germans buying some. So this is left over from that. But I thought, maybe I would bring this over and you could add it to your little collection up on unless you have one from Super Bowl 9. I don't know, but
I don't actually know.
Yeah, Gary Bradshaw.
That's the one.
We love
that was our number 12 at the time. Yeah.
Yes, the other number 12.
Yes.
Can I ask you one more thing? I found this out recently because I haven't been watching all the off-season news, but I guess Jalen Ramsey went over to the Steelers.
That's right.
So, and apparently, how are you guys feeling about that? Are you?
He will be interesting to watch.
Oh, he's world class. Yeah, absolutely. So
he's a hitter.
He's on the depth chart at the number 1 slot. So yeah, defense I think we're always going to be a bit stronger in defense than offense, and he's going to add more to it. So. Yeah, I think the Latrobe week seems to have gone well, and we'll find out what it's like now. They've had the pads on for a week, and then this week I think they finish today, tomorrow, and then they'll be flying down to Jacksonville, I guess, on Thursday, Friday, and on we go. Here we go.
I think he's still got it though. If you look at last year's highlights, he could be a good player for you guys.
Yeah, you're paying for experience and stuff like that as well. Split second timing, somebody bumping you off, hitting the back, the blind side, over the shoulder, all those nitty gritty things, and they've done it so often that that's what you're paying top dollar for.
That's good. Yeah, I think the Steelers have it. I mean, maybe this is the year. We all say that, don't we? But
it's Trevor's year. It's Trevor's year.
All 32 teams think they're going to make the Super Bowl.
That's right. I remember this time last year being so optimistic and everything, and look how that turned out. So, but this is a new year. This is Trevor's breakout season. You wait and see.
Well, and now he's a dad, so he's got mature. He may not run to the sidelines or take on some of those hits and stay healthy a bit longer. I mean, I think he's going to have a good season. I think having the young fella, the baby on the sidelines at the training ground went down very well with the Jags fans, apparently. So very approachable guy, and his brother was there, I believe, and whatever. So that's. That's
see.
What you want when you're representing your team as someone who's well-rounded and a decent young man,
Yeah, and what I've told people before is like the thing about Trevor is when he may not have had his breakout year per se, but when he's there, anything could happen. I mean, that one of those come from behind Chargers type thing. Anything can happen when Trevor's on the field, and that's the exciting part about it. And so hopefully this year we have more of those days where anything does happen.
That's right, but he can also make it to the corner as well. He's got he's an athlete as well. He's not going to just sit in the pocket. He's looking to get that ball down the park, and that's what we want from all our QBs, I suppose.
That's right. Well, it's been really cool having you on. I was excited.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
International fan.
And we must stay in touch.
Do please, and best of luck to the season ahead, and to all the people in Duval County, and hopefully
and we'll catch up after the game. just have it,
No problem.
on WhatsApp or whatever, just to see how you are and see how it went.
And good luck with the new stadium as well. The new stadium, of course, looks fantastic. So I hope that works out, because that looks like a very environmentally friendly progression to the next stadium. So good luck with that too. Okay, guys, listen, thanks so much for checking in. And we'll talk after the match at the weekend. And as I say, best wishes for the season ahead.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you,
good
Tom.
luck.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Likewise. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, that's
Here we
right.
go. Bye.
Yeah, bye.